would be running down the middle of the jungle, but he just couldn't handle it anymore. The pressure got to be too much, the fighting got to be too much, and so you didn't have just people who were wounded physically, but he was wounded, mentally in his head. He just couldn't take it. And I remember reading the book, and I remember reading about him, and I thought, hey, that's my old buddy Choi.
Choi?
Choi, Choi. He was, I think he was Chinese or Japanese, but he was here from, he was born here in the United States.
Yeah.
But he just had. Yeah, but he kind of lost control of his mind for a while. I don't know whatever happened to him. Because some guys are going in, like when I got there in January, we got in a big fight in end of April, beginning of May. We got in a real big ugly fight, and we lost a lot of the guys that I had been with for about 5-6 months at the beginning of my tour were killed. And I remember that particular fight. We were there was a river probably as wide as this parking lot, maybe not as wide. And as we approached the river on our side, we were on what they call Amtraks, and I don't know if there's a picture. I'll show you what an Amtrak looks like. I think there's one in here. This thing. See, it's a we can ride on top of it. It's like a tank, but you could ride on top of it, or the back of it opens up and you can get inside of it so that you're not exposed up here. But when we got to this particular picture was actually the beginning of that flight. When we went across the river, the NVA, not the local Viet Cong, but the North Vietnamese army, they were waiting for us on the other side. And as we were on top of these Amtraks going across the river, there were guys that were you could hear the bullets as they were hitting the people the Marines that were on top of the Amtraks with me. So when we got to the other side of the river, those of us that could got off and continued fighting. But we were there about 2-3 weeks. We could not get a handle on the bad guys. There were a lot of them there, and it was like, I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred Marines that were there, but there were a lot of the bad guys. But like I said, at the beginning, end of April, beginning of May was when we got into this fight. So because of all the people that were lost, either wounded or killed, in late May, early June, he was one of the new guys that came in. They were like, we got reinforcements. So Choi and a friend of mine that was died last year from cancer were the new guys that came into the unit. So you didn't always. There were people coming and people were going. If you made it through your whole year without getting hurt, without getting killed, without getting wounded, you pretty much went through with the same guys that you knew for the better part of the year. But because of every time you got in a fight, you never knew who was going to come out of it or not. People were going to get wounded, people were going to get killed, and so it was just kind of you tried not to get too close to anybody, because I think that was our way of coping with pain. That you have friends. It's kind of I guess like in high school, you guys. One party, there's a traffic accident, your friends get killed in a car accident, and you knew these people. You know, you just talked to them the day before or the night before, and all of a sudden there's a car accident and they're gone. And the same thing with us. You know, we were doing this, we were eating, and then the next day, next week, we'd go on patrol, and one of these guys isn't there anymore. One of these guys isn't there anymore. So, you know, I guess the way we coped with it is you try not to get close to someone. You know, you kind of just, you knew they were your friends, and you do everything you could for each other. But there was like a fine line that you didn't ask, hey, tell me about your mom, or tell me about your sister, or tell me about your brother back home, or tell me about your horse or your dog or whatever animal you had back home. You just didn't. You try not to cross those lines because of the pain that you would probably experience when someone was killed. I don't know. A good friend of mine that we got there at the same time, and in that first big fight that we got into, we were talking the night before. We had already crossed that river I was telling you about, and at night him and I got to stand watch together, because somebody's got to stay. You can't all fall asleep. Somebody's going to, bad guys are going to sneak in and you know, hurt you or the rest of your unit. But Reyes and I, we sat up at night and we were talking, and he was telling me, he started telling me about his dad, and that he wished that he had a chance to tell his dad that he was sorry for being the way he was at home. And the next day, he got killed. So
That was like your last memory.
it was like almost like he knew that he was not going to make it out of that fight. And sure enough, first thing in the morning, we were, like I said, we were both. It wasn't just him and I, but there were like 6 of us that were in this one area that we were guarding. And him and I decided that we were going to stay up together, and then we'd go to sleep and we'd wake up 1 or 2 other guys and say, okay, it's your turn to switch. Yeah, you know, you through the night, everybody would stay awake like 4 hours. The next 2 guys would stay up 4 hours or 3 hours, whatever the case would be. But when he was talking to me, and when I came back, I met his family. I met his dad and his mom, and I told him, I said, you know, this is what he told me. This is how he
told him, but he
he must have had a feeling that he wasn't going to make it. And like I said, you know, the next day he was killed. And it's those kinds of things that
you remember.
Yeah, they don't leave you. Got at home. Well, you've been to the house. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, at home I've got his picture from that was taken when we were over there. I've got his picture, and I've got his. There's a Christmas card that I got one year, and I don't know why, but whenever I got like so the organizations I belong to, the veteran organizations, they'll send either Christmas cards, you know, to the house, or they'll send a calendar. And whenever I get a calendar or a Christmas card that's got any part of these names on there, I'm always looking to see if I recognize anybody. And I got a Christmas card one year with a picture of it's a rose, and it's got a panel with the names. And I started going through the names, and he was there. He was on it, Reyes Hernandez. And I thought, you know, so I've got a little memorial for him at home, and I've had it forever.
Well,
Yeah. But I've got his picture and his that Christmas card that I found one year with his name on it. It's not just him, but it's a bunch of names. But I just happen to recognize his name and some of the other guys that were with me that died on that same day that he died. But it's, I don't know. It just is. I owe him that much and so much more, because he died maybe in my place, because if I would have stayed in the same area where he was at in the morning, when I walked away and he stayed there on that side, that's where when they attacked us in the morning, when the enemy attacked us in the morning, that's where he was at. You know, so he was one of the first ones to get killed that following day after we signed up together and we talked. And, I didn't, you know, at the time I never thought that that was going to be our last conversation. But anyways, he's a good guy. He's a
So
good
just
guy.
the whole period of like not knowing much, it's just
You know,
day to day.
Yeah, because you when you lose somebody like that, you're friends, and you don't get over it. You never get over it. I mean, like losing a brother or a sister or your mom or dad, you just don't get over it. So stay in school and don't go in the military, guys. I'm serious.
Actually, we'll both be going to school. He's going to Cal Poly.
Good.
Great line of advice. Okay.